Before you start building, you need a clear plan for what the app does, who it is for, and why it needs to exist. So today, before we write any code for the next app, we're going to create its foundation. And by the end of this video, you will have a simple one-page plan for your own app. In the last video, I showed you Medad, the first app I launched on the App Store, and shared some of the biggest lessons I learned while building it. Today, we're going to define 6 things that can turn a fake app idea into something you can actually start building. And we will do that by answering 4 questions. What problem are we solving? Who are we solving it for? What is the simplest path the user will take through the app? And how should the app look and feel? By the end of this video, you will have a clear problem, a specific user, a simple user flow, a must-have list, a not-yet list, and 3 words that describe how your app should feel. I will use my next app as the real example throughout this video, but as we go, I want you to answer the same questions for your own idea, because my goal isn't just to show you how I'm building my app, it's to help you build yours too. And the first thing you need to figure out isn't the name, the logo, or the design. It's why the app needs to exist. So let's start with the problem I was already dealing with myself. I follow stock news almost every day, but there's usually so much information that I still walk away understanding very little. And I'm busy. I don't have time to read every headline, search multiple websites, and figure out what all of it means. I wanted something that could explain what was happening in the market in plain language without me spending so much time trying to understand it. And that problem became the idea for my next app. It's called Mubeen, which means clear in Arabic. And that's exactly what I want the app to do. Mubeen is a personalized stock news app for beginner investors. The user chooses the companies they own or want to follow, and Mubeen explains the most important update in simple language. What happened? Why does it matter? Why might the stock be moving? And what should they watch next? But I don't want Mubin to only explain the news. I also wanted to help beginners learn as they read. So when a financial term appears in a summary, the user can tap it and see a simple explanation right there. No leaving the app, no searching somewhere else, and not feeling like they should already understand every financial term. Mubin will not tell people what to buy or sell. The goal is to help beginners understand what is happening in the market quickly and clearly so they can make their own decisions. And with that, I can describe the core idea of the app in one sentence. Mubeen helps beginner investors understand the news about the stocks they follow in plain language so they can make their own informed decision. Here's the formula you can use for your own app. My app helps who, do what, so they can, why it matters. For Mubin, the who, beginner investors. The what, to understand the news about the stocks they follow. And the why, so they can feel informed and make their own decisions. Now, try to complete that sentence for your own idea. And if you cannot explain it clearly yet, that's okay. The next few steps will help you. The first lesson is start with the problem, not the features. But how do you find a problem worth solving? Look at the problems you already experience. What takes longer than it should? What do you keep doing manually? You can also look at the apps you already use. Is one of them missing something important? Are you switching between 2 apps to complete one task? You do not always have to invent something completely new. You can take an existing idea and make it better for a specific group of people. But prettier isn't enough. Better should mean simpler, faster, more useful, or easy to understand. Once you have an idea, don't start building right away. First, ask yourself three questions. Is the problem real? Does something similar already exist? And how will my version be different? And who exactly am I building it for? Let's answer those questions for Mubeen. Is the problem real? Yes. Many beginner investors feel overwhelmed when they try to follow financial news. Does something similar already exist? Yes. And that is not a bad thing. It shows that people already care about this problem. The question is, how will your version serve them differently? For Mubin, the different is the reader. It's designed for people who are still learning. The news may be the same, but it's explained in a simpler way. Same news, different reader. And who is Mubin for? Total beginners. People who want to understand the market, not gamble on it. And honestly, I'm building it for myself too. Building it for yourself can be a great place to start because you already understand the problem, you know what frustrates you, and you know what you have already tried and what you wish existed. That does not mean every user will be exactly like you, but your own experience gives you a strong place to start. Because I'm building Mubin for beginner investors, I already know a few things. The language needs to be simple. The design cannot feel like a complicated trading platform. And I cannot assume the user understands every financial term. The user you're building for should influence everything. What you build, what you leave out, how the app looks, and even how you write the words inside it. Now, it's your turn. Answer those same three questions for your own idea. Is the problem real? What already exists? And how will yours be different? And who exactly are you building it for? Okay, now you know your problem and your user. The next question is, what is the simplest experience that helps that person get the result they came for? This is where you create your user flow. Don't think of the user flow as just a list of screens. Think of it as the shortest path from opening the app to getting something valuable. For Mubin, the core flow is simple. First, the user chooses the stocks they own or want to follow. Then they see a personalized daily news summary. They can tap a story to understand what happened, why it matters, why the stock might be moving, and what to watch next. Inside the summary, they can also tap any financial term to see a simple explanation. We will also include the original sources of the information. Later, the app may send a notification when the daily update is ready. That's the core experience. Now, do the same for your own app. Ask yourself, what result does the user want? What do they need to do first? And how quickly can I help them get there? Try to explain your main user flow in 4 or 5 steps. If it takes 15 screens before the user gets any value, you're probably building too much or asking them to do too much. Once you understand the main flow, the next step is to define your MVP. MVP stands for a minimum valuable product. It's the simplest version of your app that lets you test whether the main idea is actually useful. It does not need every feature you can imagine. For the first version of Mubin, we are not adding trading, connecting accounts, recommendations, or advanced charts. It only need to answer one question. Can Mubin help beginner investors understand the news about the stocks they follow. For Mubeen, the must-have list is a watch list, a personalized daily summary, simple explanation of financial terms, and link to the original sources. Everything else goes in not yet. For your own app, create two lists, must have and not yet. Your must have list should include only what the app needs to deliver its main value. Everything else goes in not yet. Next, decide how you want the user to feel before choosing colors, fonts, or screens. For Mubin, I want the user to feel calm, informed, and confident. Those three words guide the design. A clean layout, simple cards, readable text, and no unnecessary noise. For your app, choose three words that describe how you want the user to feel. Maybe that is playful, motivating, and energetic, or calm, private, and safe. Use those three words to guide your design directions. Once you know how the app should feel, start collecting design inspiration. You can use Mubin to see how other apps handle onboarding, navigation, feeds, and different screens layouts. The goal isn't to copy one app. Look at few different apps and notice the patterns. What do they show first? How much information is in each screen? And what makes the experience feel simple? Save the design ideas that fit your app and use them to shape your design direction. Once I have the problem, the user, the main flow, the MVP, and the design direction, I give all of that to ChatGPT. I explain the idea in my own words. Then I ask ChatGPT to organize it, point out anything that is unclear, and turn it into detailed prompt for Cloud Code. Cloud Code then use that prompt to create the first mockup and screens. AI does not decide what your app should be. You decide the problem, the user, the main experience, and how the app should feel. Then AI helps you organize the idea, explain it, and build it. And remember, the first mockup will not be perfect, and that is normal. Build it, look at it, notice what feels wrong, and then improve it. Sometimes you do not fully know what you want until you see the first version in front of you. So, by the end of this video, you should now have all 6 parts of your one-page app plan. I will put the full checklist in the pinned comment so you can copy it. It's enough to turn your app idea into something you can start designing, testing, and building. Oh, and one more tip from Building Midat. If you find an app name you love, check if it's available on the App Store Connect early. Don't wait until your app is finished and hope the name is still available. You can create the app record before the app is ready. That can save you from renaming everything later. And if your name is taken, don't panic. Tell ChatGPT what your app does and ask it for 10 catchy alternatives that fit the idea. Then check your favorites in the App Store Connect to make sure they are available. Once you find one that is available, create the record. That's how I landed in Mubeen. My first choice was taken, so I kept going until I found one that was available and even better. In the next video, I will show you how to take your one-page app plan and turn it into detailed AI prompt that Cloud Code can use to build your first screens. Before the next video, finish your one-page app plan and share your one-sentence app idea in the comment. And subscribe if you want to build your app with me step by step. Because next week, we start building for real. All right. See you next week.